Okay, so I would like to tell you this is Plan B Xpress. I'm privileged to be the team lead. It's not a pride, but just by privilege. And what are we looking at? We explore the global financial market. And I kind of to let you know that our target is 5 years to financial freedom via digital asset accumulation. And what do? We just accumulate the digital asset. Thank God, and you can see a lot of things happening in the space right now. Everything is now digitalized. Okay? Because there are two people that will be in business in the future, which the future has already happened. First, the people that their business will be on the digital platform, and second, people will be out of business. Virtually every business you do now, if it's not on the digital platform, the multitude you want to sell to are actually available on the digital platform. And that's exactly what we're looking at. All right. So we explore the global financial market, all the instruments, because they are vehicle for financial freedom. But our major focus as our nucleus major area we focus much on in our investing is the crypto space. Now, because why? There's a kind of run over of the stock market into the crypto market. So why? Because it's the place where, and if you look at it now, the recent thing that Bybit has done. So if you're on our forum, you do not have Bybit account, of course, I'm sure you have not been following the instruction. Because why? Bybit has actually incorporated almost everything that has to do with the financial market. I think the only thing waiting for them to do now is to actually do land banking because they are into Forex already. So they're into stock market. You can trade gold on Bybit right now. You can trade gold on Bybit, not trading it like a Forex or CFDs. You trade it as a commodity where you buy gold and hold. Yes, you buy it just like the way you buy Bitcoin. Okay. And so you can buy gold, you can buy Tesla, you can buy Apple on Bybit right now. And so to tell you that it's a one jump shop. So over time, they tokenize real estate and all of that, then you perhaps could be able to be buying all of those things. So quickly, let's look at it. If you are new to our channel, we said that the best approach to everything aspect of crypto stock is to look at how to invest. And investing does not necessarily mean whereby you are going to be looking at the long term. So there are three segments of investing. You talk about the long term, so which has to do from at least 10 years and above, and then medium term has to be about 5 years. So short-term investing. So one of most people, when I look at people tell me they want to invest in crypto and all of that, and you just bought Bitcoin, maybe a crypto last week, maybe you just bought a coin last week, and then you're already complaining that the coin was not moving. Before you can complain of any coin not moving, you should have bought it for at least minimum of 1 year. That's a short-term investing. And this is a thing why everyone need basic knowledge. You don't need to need too much knowledge. Now, if you look at it now, look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we had all of this movement after we push up so massively, and I told us that Bitcoin had pushed up massively. We shouldn't crash below this point, and for us to continue. But unfortunately, we crashed below the low and then create another low. So that makes Bitcoin to have a fist down, as it were. Now, this is the battle. So look up on now. What are we going to look at Bitcoin this week? So Bitcoin have this place to battle with. This is a very critical point for Bitcoin to battle with. Once we're able to retest above this point, that means we can have Bitcoin, to rally up this week again to battle with the all-time high and probably push up to, remember, we're talking about $127,000 all this while, and it has been struggling on that. So if I have Bitcoin crossing above this point, then we can do push up to 5-7% of Bitcoin, probably go to $127,000. Remember, we said something about Bitcoin that we have different layers of places. We want to look at 127,000, 135,000, 152,000, 176,000. Perhaps many are predicting that's going to go to 300,000. Well, I'm not giving that, but we have to understand what the market is doing and then you take advantage of it, as it were. If not, if we get rejected this week, so take note, two scenario. If we get rejected at this point this week, right? Get rejected here, that means we're going to return back to where we come from, 108, and perhaps breaking that, which is this is the one holding us 106,000, then there is no doubt that we can go back to 100,000 or 99,000. So, but before that journey, am I going to fold my hands and just be looking? No. Because remember, many persons, when they're coming to our community and we're doing market analysis about Bitcoin, we talked about Bitcoin got in the bottom here, and then we got a bounce there. That's a massive one for anyone who's doing. So the best approach to any crypto is to look at it minimum of like 1 hour or 4 hour time frame if you are using your Tradingview. If you do not know how to use Tradingview, maybe you need to enroll on Plan B Xpress to learn basic market analysis and all of that. You don't need to be a pro. You just need to know how to use the platform, and that's as simple as possible. Now, one of the Bitcoin of the day, and of course, I've already telling people that my target for Solana was $500 over time if we're able to get. Now, we saw the movement of Solana and we have a change of direction, haven't topped down to 120. All right, we actually first topped down to $94,000 when I was telling us about this channel we face on Solana. Now, when I'm doing Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I look at the longer time frame, not the short time frame and all of that. So we broke out of this channel, all right? Even though we're targeting that we're going to hit down to $94 and we're able to hit down and it broke out of the channel and it retested, of course, at about $125. Now we return back again. And now, so the best approach is that I told a lot of friends, I said, if you can be investing in stock market, then the next point of investment you should look at is the crypto market. Why? If you look at it from here to here, that's about 46%. That's a massive one. And then what about those people who actually listen to simple instruction, but it's simple, but it's difficult to obey? That will have been from $94, and then that have been a very massive money for anyone. Now, I'm just giving us a dimension at which you look at. That will be about 78% to 79% or 80%, as it were. Now, for those who are trading, future trading, now take note. We have a platform. If you want to subscribe to it, I think you pay $50 monthly, where you can have access to a low risk strategy. For instance, you are taking a long position. I told a lot of friends the other time, I said, this is the advantage you have in crypto to an extent, or if you can pay attention on a very simple one. We have the market change direction, and then we have a startup of moving down to this point and down here, and then we have Solana drop again back to this point. And I told us last week, I said Solana dropping here, then we have target to hit up to about $162 or $163 region. Now, until we get to that point, probably to see Solana coming down. But this is what's happening right now. Solana seems to want to pull back probably before return about that point. Now, I actually traded Solana this evening, maybe on just like a scalping, as it were, on future trading. But if you are bought Solana, all the time we're talking about Solana, so you can listen last week, 1, 2, 3. Today is Sunday, 1, 2, 3. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see that means for that last week, Sunday, or 8 today, 8 now. So you will have done over 19 to 20% on Solana. Now, if you're taking your profit, nobody stop you not to take your profit. So that's what we're looking at. So Bitcoin able to cross, then Solana should be hitting up to about 263, 264, or $275. Then if we're able to get at that point, then we continue up move or we return back again. Perhaps return back to $211 or 224, 211, 13, or 200, back somewhere here at $216. But what am I going to do? If I have Bitcoin and crossing over this week and then a massive rejection for Bitcoin eventually, maybe at this point here and get rejected, then I will be selling Solana down to a point. But we're able to break down to this point and take Bitcoin to $126,000 and then get rejected, then we can be selling Solana down. Or if you are not a future trader, then you will want to be looking at buying Solana back at $216. And then the next move probably could go up to that $350. My target for Solana this session, I've been telling us, like, from where we bought Solana from about 11, $10, $7, $15, and a long time it sat at $19 for a very long time. And I said my target was $500. So anyway, is he a casting stone? No, it's not a casting stone. Anything can still happen, and then you have the market change direction. Okay. So tentatively, we're looking for what Bitcoin's going to do this week. And if we're able to break, remember, I told us, if we're able to break above that region we're having here, then we can test about $126,000. If not, then we're going to return back again to 106, 108,000 before taking off. Okay. Or perhaps you see this extension here, $112,000. Then that's going to be a very nice sell for those of you who are trading future or trading Forex. That's going to be a much peak to peak if you know how to target it. But you want to look at market closes tonight and then opening by 1 a.m. tomorrow in the morning, and then to see the dimension. If we fake out, that sweep this liquidity, then get rejected over here, we should be looking for selling. Though those of us who are trading spot, you want to look at waiting for a pullback before buying into other cryptos, as it were. Just like XRP momentum and activities happening around it because of the fundamental hypes, right? So it's quite have been ranging for a while right now, and then so we have a little bot to battle with for for XRP, and so there's so much kind of Ponzi scheme around XRP right now, so it can be building so much momentum, as it were. So I gave us a lot of coins last week and talking about, okay, Evers has been down too, but at least it has pulled to an extent, trying to return back to the region. And so that is to say, if Bitcoin could continue the journey, then we can still have some good move on. My target before on Evers was $128 before we can have a top of the roof for Bitcoin and all of that. So that is to say, this week you should be looking at Avers to do additional 20-25% or perhaps 47%. So that means if I want to look at coins, if the market get to bullish back, I want to look at coins that are more conservative. I'm not going to give you more stress to buy. You'll be looking at buying Avers and buying Chainlink. All right. Of course, BNB, we have even surpassed what we targeted. I think we targeted $1,200. Okay, about to hit it, as it were, for some big BNB and as it were. So now let's quickly look at the Forex market, as it were. So you can see the DXY still struggling. And so that is to say, if we open tonight and we still have a move up and all of that, you have been rolling for DXY. And that means we're still going to push down again. If we push down again, not to break this anyway, then we're going to have a bounce. But we're at a region now that the market could either a scenario push up, but we have to take out this high for us to continue moving up. So most of us who are trading currency pairs and all of that, you have to be very strategic. Most persons are going to tell you this is a guarantee, must go this way. No, you have to pay attention to know exactly what you're doing per time. So this has not broken out, except we're out of this point. If not, the market will still be doing. I have told us the upside down of DXY is Euro USD. And so the momentum of Euro USD, since we broke out, that was since when? Since May 19, the market has been phenomenal, and all of course, it has done all of this. So you can see that it's actually ready to break out again, probably back to 1.19 or 1.2 level, as it were, 1.19 or 1.211, as it were. So you just want to see DXY struggling to go down more, and then you want to buy Euro USD buy up. So the same thing, you have a rip now, the same ripple effect on the GBP. So GBP is just a one leap to break out. So you can have more kind of positive move for GBP USD to give you over 150 to over 200 or 300 people, as it were. Okay. So beginners, you are trading currency pairs, you always love to look at them in a wider perspective rather than the choppy move or dimension we take. Now, what about gold? Lovely gold has been doing nicely well. All right. We saw where we're struggling within this range from April, and then we broke out nicely. And before we broke out, we have all of this to contend, and then we contended and retested. Before breaking out was already a strong move here, a break and retest that make a massive move. Now we have been rigmaroling around this point, and instead to pull back to fill this gap, if not, for gold has those character at all time to actually move because of the massive move. We have a lot of gap left behind, and that may not be yastic because they are more fundamental manipulating the market structure right now. So you can't be normal on the market structure as it were. You have to pay attention to a lot of fundamental. So gold, if not, remember most of us when we're talking about told us that gold was invariably going to go to $3,600 level. And there we are now, it become a kind of old prediction. And so what are you looking at now? So gold, you can see gold targeting up to about $4,000. That's a heavy overbought eventually. But that's how it looks like, as if it can never happen on gold. I remember when I told somebody, was it 2024, 2023, to buy gold at $1,802. Yes, $1,802 to $1,900. It looks impossible, right? And that's what, most institutions, they forecast a big long move and then be eating the Jones, continue to buy as it were. So gold, as it were. So if you're a gold trader, you want to pay much attention to looking at, okay, you can see Bitcoin, small buy and sell, is actually doing nicely well. Of course, you ought to have Bitcoin pullback here, but we just need to wait because there's a milestone for it to break $117,000. And if you're able to get that, then we go out of Bitcoin. And then that means Solana I traded this evening. I was surprised after hitting my take profit. After hitting my take profit, it just returned back to this point. But of course, if Bitcoin is going to have a continuation, then you should have Solana to retest, maybe probably back to this point, $238 if you retest that point and then continue to move, because ordinarily the structure, we have the high, we have the low, we have the high. These are the field to read out the other high, which is a lower one. So, but of course, we have all of this point to actually got a bounce on even returning back to this point. The worst case scenario is to come back to sweep this liquidity and then you continue. For people who have bought Solana before now, would not panic on anything because they're still in very, very nice profit. Okay, so that for the crypto, the forex, and all of that. Talk about stock market, and most of us in Nigeria, we talk about Nigeria stock and all of that. And I think first hold. I just hope I can remember you. So there are so many stocks that have tried and proven to do nicely well. Most time when I tell people to buy stock, they seems not to listen, or they seems not to look at it at a place where you could diversify into. Now, one of the things is this, um, both local and international stocks, they are good for you, right? And that's what we talk about, spreading your tentacles, okay? Spreading your tentacles. The truth of the matter is that you're a trader, which I'll show one or two things. You're a trader. Not every time your trade is going to go well, and not all the time you have a real setup. Sometime in a week, you may not see a setup, except you are just a gambler. If you are trading anyhow, you think that you are having a setup, but that's how you lose all the money. And so that's why I would tell people to look at stock market and then spreading your tentacle as a backup and all of that. Okay. Um, Fidelity has done really well, and a lot of people now, again, when you start trading or investing in stock, you need strategy, right? Sometimes you could just buy stock. Buying stock and hold is good, right? But there's a need for you to understand the game. The rule of the game is beyond buy and hold. Now, one of the things about stock market is this: when you buy into a stock, right? When you buy into a stock, there are things you must know about the company, and at the time they want to do one or two things, maybe like when bonus to be shared. I think that was what happened to Google last 2 weeks was it last 2 weeks or last month? I can't remember. When the profit shares and then when they knew, oh my word. So it's already that 240. Some people are telling us that this was going to be hitting up to, wow, this is amazing. So I think as at that August, there was less than $200, for, and then from, okay, June, the month of June was 150 something region and all of that. And then number of people I told, they say, what's funny stocks should they buy? I say, well, Google is already expensive, but there are so many kind of, fundamental, we're hearing about it and all of that. So now, so who knows? Maybe over time, Google to hit about $350. Nvidia was been stock that was struggling after some time, if not well, to have hit up to yeah, up to above $200. But of course, it has been ring banned when it moved up since June or July, thereabout, and all of that. So we just want a breakout of this point before you can see, because this had to do with AI and all of those you know tech, company and all of that. So you see this stock from about $7 at a point. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, $7 at a point, and at a point was 30 something dollars, and then sat below. Yeah, I can still remember. Yeah, look at it. You can see this had to do with information. Okay, how the point was seated at $11, 2023, something like that. Yeah. And so now imagine you've been having this talk, and perhaps there's a stock too. Is it Perco? I'll check it eventually. Imagine you having this stock all this time, and you have been taking dividend in this same stock after since let's say 2021, right? Let's say 2021 or 2020 since COVID-19, right? At about $4 and all of that. And so imagine you having that. So these are the things, so like when you are trading in stock or you investing in stock, additionally, what you could be doing, look at this is 600%, right? 1,200. By the time you go from that, you see a massive profit that you have made. But I'm saying this, it's easier said than done because most time we don't plan ourselves, and that's why when any little thing happen, for instance, maybe somebody was coming in and when they are talking about Nvidia, I heard about it when it was $25. After buying $25, it came back to $10. It's going to be telling himself, oh, yes, there's one of my stock I need to remember. I think, I don't know, maybe the Chinese are not picking up. Now, there was a kind of struggle. Did my stock new? Oh, my word, new incorporations. So they're already creating a kind of different stuff in New York. Okay, I think I need to read more. So look at it. Look at this talk. I made insane money on this talk. Yeah, I made insane money on this talk in 2019, right? In 2019 and COVID period. So total move of this, I made crazy money. I think about $2 or $3 we bought it. Okay, 1 point something dollars, right? And a massive move of this stock up to this point gave about 4,000% within 2019, 2020, and getting 2021. 4,000%. So that's to tell you that this stock, right, for just a period of 2019 October and now to 2021 January, right? October 2020, 1 year. So 1 year and a half thereabout, yeah, giving about 4,300%. Now, so let's look at it if you put in $100 into it, right? $100 into it to 4,000%. So that's about $100 multiplied by 4, the 40x, how much that? Let's look at it. 4,000, let's say 4,200% divided by 100. I'm not mistaken. Divide by 100. That's 42x multiplied by 100. So that's 4,200. Okay. So now, whoever you tell that you invested $100, 1 year plus, and you make $4,000 plus, not with dividend and all of that, it's not going to believe you. And now, funny enough, we now have the intention that this guy was going to have a very massive continuous move up, right? But since then, what has happened? It was nosediving continually. Last year or 2023, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is 2023. We bought more at about $12. Yes, somewhere here, $7, $7, $12, $10 for the continuous move because it has already broken all of these. Since that time, this stock has been struggling. Now it came down again to about $6. We add more in nosedive. I've been buying more of this stock all this time. And then I still bought more when it came down to about $3 or something. Yeah, that region here. At this point, 3 point something dollars. It went up. I was jubilating at $7 because I was actually not scalping it. It nosedive again. You can see now. It's now pushing up. So imagine. So even if you're following of this stock, because $3 or $3.5 to this point, ladies and gentlemen, that's about 100%, 90 something percent already. And so that is to say you have this to contend with, this to contend with. So once this one is able to get above $9, then you're looking at, of course, getting back to $15. So this is a stock well have been struggling. It's not a financial advice anyway. If you're on our platform, I have given you most platforms and places where you can buy both international stock and local stock, unless you are not following our instruction. If you're not on our Telegram channel, or you are not following on a WhatsApp group, well, that means you are the one actually giving yourself a lot of stress. If not, we have platforms we have sent across where you can buy local stock, where you can buy, international stock, New York, Chinese stocks, and all of that. And so maybe this one is not a bad deal, still about $6 plus. And I still remember I was talking about it when it was $3. So whoever bought at $3, even if you want to sell half of it now, you've made money. Why not? Yeah, it's a company. Yeah, it's a company just similar doing something similar thing to like Tesla and all of that. So you probably want to buy new. Why not? It's still available. I still have some I bought. Some I bought at $12. It's still in my hand. Some I bought at $10. It's me because at that time when we bought at $10 or $12, we have expectation that for it to go to $24. Okay, and then we said when it get there, we sell part of it and still hold. When it pull back, we add more and all of that. So these are dimension of investing, not the Ponzi scheme. Well, I'll make this amount of money. Fine, you can. And that's one of the massive thing about crypto, right? So, but if you understand what you are doing, you know how to spread your tentacles as much as possible. Now, so most of you who are coming in newly into the space of global financial market, because that's what we explore. We want people to see larger perspective of what happened in the market, all right? So making money and then diversifying into different opportunity. And then, so, but for you to really enjoy the market, you have to understand a long-term perspective, okay? And that's why the best trader is it's not just someone who is scalping and all of that. You have to be able to look at the market in a larger perspective, all right? Now, so there are a few things you definitely need because remember, we say we explore global financial market. Number one, we explore the crypto market, buy and hold, buy and stake. I told you about Bybit. You have a lot of things you can do on Bybit, right? You can stake, you can do copy trading, you can do a lot of things. Then you have stock market, you can buy, just hold, earn your dividend and all of that. Like MTN, I don't know how much MTN is now. Let me check. MTN, all right. MTN, Wayman, and all the like. Okay, so MTN $435, 435 naira, something like that. Wayman. Okay, so if you're new, the first you want to look at is that there are three dimensions we look at our market. Number one, we buy to hold, that is investing. Number two, we trade, all right? That's active. Number three, you actually build an affiliate. That's good. Now, affiliate is not a bad deal. Now, trading is not a bad deal, but the major backbone of everything is investing. Okay, so trading is like you're building a career, but even as an investor, you still trade anyway, right? How do I mean by that? Now, let's take example. We're telling a lot of people market was going to return back or when it went back to $94, right? Now you have bought and it has moved maybe 100%. You decide to sell, or you actually understand what we check in the market, perhaps. Let's say you were bought Solana, maybe even here. You bought Solana even here. You now look at this is a high that the market was, if you take out or if you break it, I'm going to make money. But if you look at it, the market came and what did it do? It swept this high. Look at it. These are the little things you probably want to bought on a higher level. Now you have bought maybe from here or even after here at $162. All right? At $162, and you just kept holding it and it got over here, that's about 26%. And you saw that I swept the liquidity to say, okay, I just want to sell 26%. It returned back again. You thought that it was going to hold here, it never held, but back to this point it held. And then you say, okay, I think after now I'm going to buy. And then you bought again, perhaps here or here. And then the market, you're targeting this another 16%. If you're still holding, targeting this major point, that's about 36%. So if you maybe in 2-3 months you have done this, 26% here, 36% here, 20% here, in 3 months or 6 months, if you accumulate it together, of course, if you are not disciplined, you may not be able to achieve it. But if you're disciplined, maybe let's say you put in $100, okay? Let's say you put in $100, and then the first one you do 25%, that's $125. You're buying the same Solana again, and then as you bought Solana at that point again, you did another 36% or 25% or 18% on $125. You can get the calculation. Then another time the Solana came down again, you bought, and then maybe you're having $132 or something, and then you did 33%, all right, or 36% of that. So that is 0.36 multiplied by $132, right? Something like that, okay? So you're going to have another much of money, say $132 multiplied by 0.33. That gives you for $3. So for $3 plus $132, then that gives you about $175. So in 3 months, your $100 has given you additional $75. This is the thing that most of us are actually not ready to listen to as much as possible. Okay. So in the same vein, trading Forex and all of that is still the same dimension. I always tell people, if you cannot look at the larger perspective of the market, you keep on getting stuck in between the lines. All right. And that's one of the advantage of Bekenet software. Any of you that have listened to the software, I'm sure the training must have been going on after now. I think I will send the link on the group. If you can still join, you join. It's basis of looking at the market on price action and a key level. And then so you can be on a drawdown at a point, and then when you return back to profit. But the ideology is this: you should not be under pressure trading. Yeah, that's what it means. You should not put yourself under pressure trading. Trading is simple, but we are complex, and that's why we complicate it. If not, it's simple, but we are complex, that's why we complicate it. Yeah, is it manipulative? However, it is, because these are data. So you don't know who is going to act this way in another place that can affect the market as much as possible. But most of us actually, you can see what I told you about GBP. I would lovely want to see how GBP give me entry this week or as the market open. I would lovely want to see GBP break above this point and then retested it. And then I want to be catching move from that point to this point, making about 120 something pips. And if it's going to narrow up to the 190 something pips and all of that. Or I want to see a rejection and return back here before now buying up as much as possible. Okay. So then we have copy trading on Capital Extend. You heard we'll be emphasizing a lot of people time that register on Capital Extend, fund your account with minimum $500, if not supposed to be $1,000. And I'm sending it because the time we come, we may be asking, can I now connect? We say, okay, no, the number of people who want to connect has been exhausted and all of that. Additionally, and I told us some of you who are trading demo, rather than trading demo, I say register on Atlas. Atlas, you can use $10 to buy an account. Until you pass the account, you may not pay for it. So if you lose it, you'll only lose $10. So rather practice on something that you know that if you eventually pass, you're going to just look for money and get the account. The truth of the matter is that if you're trading and you perfect your strategy, you need scaling fund. And that's the whole ideology and the importance or the good side of prop firm. And so that you can have money, to scale your trading. So somebody who's trading with $100 and he perfects his strategy, how about having $100,000? So it's going to reduce his exposure to market and yet making a lot of money. Another thing, I think I sent a link. Those of you who are trading synthetic for the first time, although we'll be having some series of synthetic prop firm that come but they didn't stand. I've used this broker called what do they call Blueberry Market. Blueberry Market from Australia that I've used before. So there's a prop firm on it, not on the Forex that I'm looking at, but those of you who trade synthetic derivative. So if you want to explore, that aspect where you can buy $5,000 account with $35, $70 for $70 for to buy 10,000, 175 to buy like that. Okay. 25 for 30,000. I can't really remember. So, ladies and gentlemen, this opportunity lying for you, and then you can actually help yourself. I think there's a token that had been proven to be very trending for a very long time. And when I told us to buy sometime, and I think it's still doing what it was doing. Let's look at it very quickly on the meme coin. But the way the guy had been strengthening and then trying to do more, I could see that it was maintaining some momentum. It only pulled back, but it was not massive. So these are how some of those coins will be doing without you knowing that they are going to produce more result eventually, which was nobody. And so look at it. I remember when the price was somewhere down here, and I was telling some of us how once it break here, now it's logically going that way. This little move you're seeing is a massive move, right? So gently from here, even from here to this point, it's about 40 something percent. So thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice time. So if you want to still join the Bekenet software, the link will be dropped on the group. You can join and then hear more detail on how the Bekenet software works. Do have a nice time. Take advantage of the market. Let's make money, help ourselves, reduce stress, and then be friendly to people around you. Do have a nice time. Thank you very much, and bye for now. My name is Timo Felix. May I say the team leader of Plan B Xpress. Bye-bye.